cool little fun VC investments from the Peter Thiels of the world to have free reign and no consequences for what they do. And then God forbid you go remove one of their precious little fucking cameras. You're the terrorist. His words, not mine. But you know what? We do have a minute here, Joey Deef, to go through my friends at Flock. I said I would. There's going to be more next week because we're not going to get through all this. But when I talked about Garrett's his name, right?
Yeah, Garrett.
CEO Garrett.
Craig or
who
Greg.
I'm sure Craig or Greg. I don't know how I landed on Craig or Greg.
That's all right.
But whatever. Anyway, so Garrett, I had referenced him not knowing how to read the room. He doesn't even understand the irony of the literal visual examples that he thinks of when he goes to explain and defend what he does. So I want to play the video.
Mm-hmm.
You know what one I'm talking about, D, if you already got it. Can you cut... Yeah, we're going to look at the meme after. Perfect. Can you cut to where he starts talking? Yeah. So it's at like the 15-second mark. Yeah, a little back right there. So this is Garrett defending... I guess like the good intentions of Flock, and he seems to find, as I said, no irony in very openly, I would say maybe even callously. You know what? Let me pull back a little bit here. Unaware, ignorant, maybe. He is describing you and I, you out there listening, me and Joey Deefin here as 5-year-old children. Let's play it.
Sick. People want to jump to let's just punish people and that will teach them. But if we look at our kids as a proxy,
as a proxy,
the level of punishment, whether you're in timeout for 5 minutes or an hour, doesn't matter to a 5-year-old. They do something because they think they're going to get away with it. And as soon as they find out that as a parent, you have all-seeing eyes, they stop doing bad things. And the punishment has nothing to do with it.
Okay, pause it.
Maybe it's unfair to
pause it. The punishment has nothing to do with it. They just stop doing bad things. So we're going to film all of you, and that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to stop you from doing bad things. And we will never, we at Flock, I'm speaking for Flock right now. Apparently I'm their PR guy for a minute. We will never allow people to take advantage of that. There will be no cops stalking their ex-girlfriends through cameras. There will be no license plate reading that, apparently hooks up to your Bluetooth and shit like that and then tracks you forever. More on that in a second. We are the children, and Flock is our father. Let's let him keep explaining this and dig his hole deeper.
To call an adult a 5-year-old, but that's generally how our brain works. We operate on a Boolean equation of like, I get away with this, so I do it. If I don't think I get away with it, I don't do it. And maybe, one is stealing, a gummy from a jar of candy. Another one is shooting someone. So quite a big disparity there, but it's the same brain that's making a decision. So I totally agree with Noah. And I think the data is there.
The data is there.
And
that's
I think
what matters.
Maybe where Noah and I disagree a little bit is I have a lot less anxiety on the downsides. I think, of course, there's always downsides in everything.
He's got no anxiety.
But I think where Noah was going near the end is if your concern at a macro level is
pause it.
Oppressive.
Again, a little PR advice here. When these guys fucking talk about this shit and they use all these terms, I hated hearing this at the bank when I worked there, when they throw these $5 words on there, and they're like, basically like at a macro level, according to our data, it could suggest that it's just gay. Stop talking like that. Say what it is. Say, you know what? In the spirit of you talking about 5-year-olds, say it like a 5-year-old can understand it. I'm sorry to be like a little bit of a fucking old man, get off my lawn right there, but like I'm just so sick of the people who are in charge holding the strings on the peasant Avante in society talking like complete fucking Looney Tunes. Let's continue it.
State arising in America. Cameras are not the problem. The problem is that we believe that's going to happen, and there's like 7,000 other ways that could occur.
I mean, they're not even hiding it anymore.
Like just the little laugh. They're not the problem. Like the little nerdy laugh and everything. It's just dark, dude. It's like that old famous quote. What is it? I always have trouble with this dyslexia, like in my head with this one. It's like strong men create soft times. Strong
men. It's strong men create good times.
That's right.
Good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. Hard times create good men. Blah, blah,
that's
blah,
right.
Blah.
we're in the good times created very soft men who now get to do very hard, awful things to people because they have these positions of power behind a keyboard to do it, and cool little fun VC investments from the Peter Thiels of the world to have free reign and no consequences for what they do. And then God forbid you go remove one of their precious little fucking cameras. You're the terrorist. His words, not mine. Who's this guy on TikTok I was referring to? Is this Lonnie? Lonnie Shirt. Now, hold on. I gave you the actual video. I texted it to you because I had to rip the song from the background so it doesn't get ripped, but it's still Lonnie talking, so he has full credit here. It's at Lonnie Eischer, ISSCHUR on TikTok, but he laid out what's going on with the license plate reading and what Flock may have the ability to do here, which, Joey Deep, I think is kind of notable. Let's let it play.
Flock cameras just got an update and you won't fucking believe it. We all thought they were just scanning license plates, maybe tracking humans a tad bit, but who would have thought it could get that much worse? A developer was just walking around trying to figure out exactly what was going on with their infrastructure, and he found that the signal trace integration is already live. You're saying, Lonnie, what the fuck is a signal trace integration? Well, it's a little cheap device they add on to any existing flock camera that when it's scanning you or your license plate, it also pulls the Bluetooth identifier from your phone, matches that to your profile, so they'll never need a camera to track you again. Pretty fucking cool, right?
Now, some of that could be like a little bit simplified as to how quickly it gives them full access to everything. But even the idea that you are tying together, like looking at this conservatively, tying together Bluetooth data and tracking via cameras on a license plate to then be able to monitor your movements and see where you are. If you cannot see how that is not a slippery slope to dystopia, I cannot help you. And we've also been living in a country to where since COVID, we've seen like a lot of the conversation about people having the ability to practice their Second Amendment freely has obviously become even like a left and right thing in many, not in all cases, but in many cases, it's something that people are like, all right, that's kind of important because we saw the government take too much power. But do you see that link right there? A flock at the gun range? I have seen tens of these this week of flock cameras being set up right outside gun ranges to be able to monitor all the license plates of people who are rolling into gun ranges and who's buying guns, who owns them, where they could be going, track their motions. So I don't know, Joey Deef, maybe I'm playing this out too far. We can get your very, very astute legal mind on this. But if I were looking at this for like the future of a government taking power to potentially be able to take away the Second Amendment, it would probably start with having good data on all the people who are openly practicing said Second Amendment and all their movements and where they're going and what they own and what they're shooting at all times, so that maybe I could fucking, I don't know, hack into their life and take it away.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds about right. All right, let's play this video real quick. So this is over 100,000 of these cameras, tens of billions of scans a month. Officers already caught abusing it. We talked about that. They don't need your consent. They just need you to keep driving past them. And here's what this young lady found.
So I decided to go to the gun range today, like an American. And tell me why there are flock cameras pointing into the entrance of the parking lot. Not the street, into the entrance so they can read every license plate that comes in here. Yeah, no, I love this. I'm sure there's no ulterior motive behind this either.
We live in a country where after awful terrorist attacks that still to this day have not been fully explained, and so we have a podcast coming on that at some point here, by the way, but after awful attacks in 2001, we were able to then, the government was able to not let a good crisis go to waste and pass things like the Patriot Act and allow for secret FISA courts to underground, allow things to get passed for mass surveillance on U.S. citizens, to where they took an example of people who did something bad and then subjected all of society to losing their constitutional rights moving forward as a result, because they wanted to do it under the guise of, we're just trying to keep you safe. Yep. This is the same exact vibes right here. One time Sometimes someone does something bad at a gun range or something like that. It's horrible. You know, I mean, they shoot somebody or someone mentally ill gets on there and does something. Of course, we've seen things in schools where there's mass shootings. These are horrible things. No one's arguing that like, oh, we want that to happen. Of course you don't. But they will use those crises to then set up things like this and then get everything else that they want as a result. And once you give up ground on the slippery slope, you cannot climb back up it. This is exactly what Edward Snowden warned about. And that is a guy whose takes and decision that we've covered many times on this show in many contexts continue to age better and better over time. Edward Snowden famously, as I've said many times before, had two slippery slopes. One slippery slope was he was going to break his oath where he gave an oath that national security secrets and things that he had access to, he would agree not to release because it was a matter of national security. And the reason that I have to say this is a balanced case, the reason that's a slippery slope is because the minute someone like him comes out for moral reasons and breaks that code, hypothetically, the next person could come out for moral reasons. It's something that's slightly less serious and then slightly less serious and so on down the road until anyone's leaking anything they don't like. That said, the other slippery slope was after, at this point, when he went to leak it, over 10 years of the United States government fucking over the constitutional rights of you, me, and everybody. He saw and went through things behind the scenes to try to get this fixed. He saw that it was stonewalled and that it was getting worse. And that slippery slope was way farther down the slope. And he said that one was worse than the one that he chose, and I agree. And we're seeing it play out. So again, Garrett, you know, if the friend who reached out to my friend is to be believed and like that's a thing and he wants to come on, I'm happy to do it. Jokes aside, this format, as I said, is different. I will sit here and have a conversation with you, but if you do it, you better fucking be ready to go. And like I said, Tommy G will be here and he'll be ready to go as well. And if you're not afraid of what you're doing and you're not concerned about its implications on the American people and our rights and freedoms, then someone like you, Garrett, should have nowhere to hide. And you should be willing to sit down, not even necessarily with me, but with anyone with any kind of sizable platform who has righteous questions about this. And if you're that confident, you should be able to answer them to our satisfaction. So, open invite. Right? That's what we do around here.
Yep.
Joey D, if I think we got it, we just had another very long week. Been a lot of those, but
yep.
Good shit as always, my friend.
Right back at you, brother.
All right. Everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Please hit that subscribe button and the like button. The like button's huge on YouTube now. I appreciate all of you. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.